Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is part 2 of course number 2. This is level 5 through the final here. This should be a pretty decent sized video here by the end of it. Doing some of this can get kind of, it's going to take a bit to get there. So anyways, we're using a little bit of mass. He's going to throw me up through there and then throw himself up. It's pretty straightforward, plain and simple there. This next part here is pretty much the same principle of what we did there. This one you're going to need to use that jumping thing. I forget what the heck the game calls it themselves. But anyways, set up the portals like we show there, and then it'll get you up. This one took us. This is probably the one that took us the longest out of the entire game, believe it or not, to figure out. And it was simple. You just have to go back through it and then get punched back out. It was the simple things that elude us, and that was that was really frustrating once we figured out how to do that. That it was that simple. But whatever. If you're stuck there, I hope to help you out, because we were stuck there for a while. So this one, you can see the block over there in the distance. You need to launch up and grab the block and drop back down. Now you need to launch somebody else up onto that switch and hand them this block. If you do anything other, if you try to launch through that field, it'll destroy the block. So as you see, he used the launcher over there, got him through. He's going to put that on the switch. That's going to open up a series of doors over there, and those doors are going to have 2 more behind them. So now we need to launch somebody up there. So I'm going to go up there and use again this same initial one to accelerate me up into there, and I'm going to shoot an in and an out on this. And so what that does is he's going to shoot one up on the top there right in front of me, and then he's going to shoot one on again by the launcher, and he's going to come up and he's going to launch through both of mine and back out and into the exit, and then he'll be able to push me up from there. So it's fairly simple, but not really straightforward again with this game, and you know, it's going to start getting more difficult from now on. And once you get into level 3 and 4, it starts getting exceedingly difficult. But it's not bad. Level 3 is not bad. Level 4 gets a lot more, a little more intense, and level 5 is they got some humdingers on there that are gonna split your wig for a little bit. I'll tell you that. So we're gonna go up top there, grab a switch. This one is actually probably one of the neatest ones in the game, as far as doing it. If you set this up right, so he's going to shoot his there. I'm going to go through this force field and shoot mine on the other side, and then he's going to launch through all 4 at once, and then get up top. He'll be able to drop me down the brick there, or actually he's going to do it and it's going to launch itself all the way through. The cube's going to launch all the way through. So once you do that, you put that down in the handy cube switch there, and reverse the process. So now he's going to shoot the 2 on the other side, and I'm going to shoot these 2. And I suggest you put your stuff up there to the left, because I had an accidental launch on the game before. It happens, and so you can see he's shot both of his on that side, and so now I just need to step on it, and I'll do all 4 in one swoop, and then be on the exit with him over there. Easy as can be. So next section in here, this one again, this one is neat too. I enjoyed this one. There's 4 bouncy things across the entire thing there, across the entire thing. So now you've got to, he's going to put portals on up above my left and then behind me, and you'll see that those going through. And so what he's going to do is he's going to have the ability now to bounce through all 4 corners without stopping. So what you have to do now is time a cube to get launched across. You just saw that cube get launched across. I found it, if you hit it right now, it'll time right, and you see it launching over there, and he's going to come through just in time to grab it. So now the tricky part is coming over here and stopping, and with that cube in hand, reversing direction, and now both of us need to go over there and put the cube down, and that'll be the end of that. Timing is everything. They're going to start doing a little more of these timing puzzles, and it definitely makes stuff pretty interesting when you have to time it that accurately. And you know what? It gives you a lot of leeway. I don't even think you have to catch it. I think you can just run into it, and it'll kill it. So this next part here is a synchronized one. I suggest when you do this stuff, like it says, that you use that back timer there. You hit the left on your D-pad, and then you push up, and it'll start a countdown timer. And so both of us are over here messing around. I think we end up getting it. No, we didn't. It takes us a minute here. So anyways, you get that countdown, press up, it'll start a timer, and then you bounce at the same time, because those switches have to be hit at the exact same time for them to work, and hop on through. This one's cool. You've got to get that cube and take it down the hallway and get that laser pointed back in. The only trick is there's big old smashing walls over there. Now you can leave this there and then come back inside, and it's not going to bug you, or you won't get smashed. But the problem is, unless you're picking it up, the laser is not tall enough to make it in there. So you have to time it like that. Now, being the laser holder, I'm just going to put 2 there, because what it's going to do is going to lift that up, and you want your partner to be getting launched across. So they're going to launch across the whole thing. You see all the way down there at the top above the spikes, there's a switch they're going to hit with their body. So he's sitting on that thing lined up, ready to go. As soon as these spikes smash everything, I'm going to go over there and pick it up while they're resetting. Hit the switch, it'll bring his platform up, and then he's gonna jump down, and it's gonna launch him across above my head, and you can see him going through on the cam right there, and then you don't gotta worry about the spikes anymore once he hits that switch. Take this block with you. You're gonna need this in the next part. So this one's actually pretty cool. In order to get the timing on this right, you've got to drop the portal through so that it hits that switch, and you run across over there, and the door will open up in time. So I stomped on that for 2 or 3 times trying to make it to the door before we figured out exactly. So this part here I cut a bunch out of. This is the final section, and basically I cut a bunch out of it because it's actually a kind of a difficult timing part. So basically what you're doing here is one of you is going to hit the button to launch the cube in the air, and the other person is going to be the person who's going to launch through the air to grab it. And getting the timing down on this was not easy, and eventually you'll get it, but the person who's lining up at 1 behind you, they're numbered, is hitting the button. The person lining up at 2 is catching it. And I think on this particular one, he catches it on this time, and it actually works out for us. He'll bring that back over, and what you want to do with that is redirect that across to stop the fan. And what I'll do here is, again, reverse that. Shoot this, go across, go through the fan. Now, whoever goes through the fan, you got to remember that as soon as you go through that shield, it's done. Any portals that you have open are not going to work. But if you remember from an earlier lesson, when you killed the turrets, the laser does go through glass. So you can do that, and when it touches that switch over there, it just turns the fan off. So you don't need to worry about it staying. It'll flash red and everything out there, and at that point my partner's going to drop his stuff, and he's just going to launch across like I did a second ago, using the same method that would have killed you if the fan had been there. fairly easy. Once you see how it's done here, it's actually a pretty quick job. So once he gets over here, you got to kind of wait for him to make it through. Then you have to do one of the timing locks here. Now again, I recommend you use the timer for this. You know, if you're talking, that's great, but it seemed to be easier with the timer. Go through up here, and you run through about 20 staircases before you get up the top. And all of these endings are the same for all these. You have to insert some disc somewhere. So once you get up here, look for a disc. It should be on one of the tables somewhere, and then you can just stick that into the player. It'll have a green light on it, and that'll be the end of the map. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and pay attention for the next tutorials coming up. They should be out shortly. Thanks.